Hey there, everybody. It's the author, and you're joining me for the Fast 15. As we normally do about this time, we take no more than about 15 minutes to pause, check up, check in, enjoy a note from any of my books or audiobooks, close out with a couple of announcements and words of encouragement. As you know, when life is lifing, sometimes you can't wait till the end of the day or the beginning of the next day for that pick me up. So, hopefully, this midday breather is an opportunity to have a little bit of a pause and a little bit of a reset. I know it's one for me, so I hope it's the same for you. So make sure, to stay connected, network, be encouraged, all that type of thing, especially during this climate and landscape. So today, what we're going to do is our reading for the day. Normally, I try the first Wednesday of each month to pull a selection from another author. So I had kind of gotten off track, but with tomorrow being a significant day, well, every day is a significant day, but with tomorrow being the day that it is, we're going to pivot a little bit, and I am going to pull a selection from a fellow author. But before we dive in with our topic, as you know, when life is lifing, sometimes it can be great and sometimes it can be far from it. So if you or somebody you know is going through, a hurdle, it could be health related, it could be, finances, it could be related to relationships you have with people, you're just feeling a little bit stressed or feeling, out of sync or whatnot. Just like we do here, take the time you need to kind of pause, reboot, refresh, identify, the heart of the matter, and take the steps you need to address it. So if what you're going through requires professional attention and you have access to it, please utilize those resources. If it's more of a change up of your routine or things along those lines, identify positive changes that will help you be a better person and just be a better resource to other people around you. So, as many people know, even though the holiday comes up on Monday, the actual birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is January 15th. And with today being the day before his actual birthday, I wanted to pull a selection that I feel does, even to this day, speak to a couple things going on. So, if you haven't picked up the book Stride Towards Freedom, I definitely encourage you to pick that one up. And Stride to Freedom really does focus more on the Montgomery uh, bus boycott and some other related work. But there's other things that are very, very, very timely and speak to a number of issues, social issues, economic issues, things along those lines. So even though this chronicles things that took place during the 1950s, guess what? Those that don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And we're just going to leave that there. But I want to speak to one of the topics that he covered. So, again, today, pulling from Stride to Freedom by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and this is from his chapter in the book, The Violence of Desperate Men. And here's a section that I'd like to read from it. Ordinarily, a person leaving a courtroom with a conviction behind him would wear a somber face, but I left with a smile. I knew that I was a convicted criminal, but I was proud of my crime. It was the crime of joining my people in a nonviolent protest against injustice. It was the crime of seeking to instill within my people a sense of dignity and self respect. It was the crime of desiring for my people the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It was above all the crime of seeking to convince my people that non cooperation with evil is just a moral duty, as is cooperation with good. So ended another effort to halt the protest. Instead of stopping the movement, the opposition's tactics had only served to give it greater momentum and to draw us closer together. What the opposition failed to see was that our mutual sufferings had wrapped us all in a single garment of destiny. What happened to one happened to all. Let me continue with this. On that cloudy afternoon in March, Judge Carter had convicted more than Martin Luther King Jr., case number 7399. He had convicted every Negro in Montgomery. It is no wonder that the movement couldn't be stopped. It was too large to be stopped. Its links were too well bound together in a powerfully effective chain. There is amazing power in unity. When there's true unity, every effort to disunite only serves to strengthen the unity. This is what the opposition failed to see. Now, there's a lot to unravel, but let me try to simplify it for you. Yes, Dr. King was a convicted criminal, but unlike some convicted criminals we know, this is an individual that was looking for what? The uplift of people who have been historically and still to this day marginalized, ostracized, things along those lines. So let's not get it twisted, and let's not say that all convicted criminals are alike, because they are not. And in this case, when it calls for stewardship, outreach, service, empowerment, identifying ills of society, and doing what can be done to get rid of those root causes, do not get it twisted. So let's not misuse or manipulate these types of things. Here's another thing that I want you to pull away from this. There is amazing power in unity. When there is true unity, every effort to disunite only serves to strengthen the unity. This is what the opposition failed to see. You think about certain actions that are taking place, and it is about what? Maintenance of class and caste. And we're going to dive in on that a little bit deeper. But a lot of these actions are designed in what? Discord, disharmony, destruction, keeping people in their place, denial of access to resources and opportunities. And again, let's not get it confused here. All these tactics are about maintenance of a system which benefits the few, and for everybody else, divide, conquer, all that type of nonsense. All King was doing was speaking to facts, speaking to the systemic issues at hand, and what things need to be done in order to end or bend the arc towards justice. So again, let's not misuse this man's words or twist these, because the actions that you see from one convicted criminal, vastly different. So that's something for you to marinate, chew on, stride towards freedom, which is the classic story of nonviolent resistance in America. And this focuses on the Montgomery bus boycott and a few other things. So as we get ready to kind of wind down, a couple of quick announcements. For our Divine Nine, which is our collective of our predominantly black fraternities and sororities, January is a busy month. January 5th, belated Happy Founders Day to the men of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. January 9th, belated Founders Day to the members of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. January 13th, belated Happy Founders Day to the women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Tomorrow, happy Founders Day in advance to the women of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And on January 16th, happy Founders Day to the women of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated. So there's a lot going on in the D9 community. Shouts to all of our organizations. As many people are aware, Iota Phi Theta, their Founders Day is in October. November, the Founders Days for both Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority and Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. And then, of course, December, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. But with January, we're in January, so we're shouting out the January organizations. Many thanks to the work that you are doing. And hey, for all of us on the D9, hey, let's go ahead and do what we need to do. Plain and simple. A couple other things that are taking place, and I know there's a few things on the horizon, trying to get clarity from the folks at the San Antonio African American Book Festival, which is taking place the last weekend of February. So I've been selected as a participating author that I'm invited about. Just waiting to hear back from them on a couple other things to make sure we get some fine-tuning done. So shouts to them, and when you get this message, hit me up. Let's see, what other stuff? Working on some other things book-wise. Of course, all the books are available not only on your online platforms of Amazon and Barnes & Noble, but please, please, please check them out at our independent bookstores. And if any of my stuff is not at your favorite indie bookstore, make sure to request that they order them. The same for all you book clubs out there, readers, things along those lines. Try and think if there's anything else. And I know there's always something. I'll say this, shouts to the Alphas of Atlanta. If you have not been a part of their Alpha Derby weekend, which is their Kentucky Derby themed event taking place the first weekend of May, go ahead and check them out. They have some great programming and stuff going on, so make sure to give them a look at Alphas of Atlanta and Alpha_Derby. I think that's just about it. I know, like anybody, I gotta clean up the space on my devices. I know it's terrible. I got to figure out something. But I pray and trust all of you guys are having a good day, good week. Hopefully this was a good pause or pick me up. Hopefully the message for today is something that you really, really think about. And I'll say this, while we can't do everything, we can all do something. And if we can do something to leave a positive footprint and really effectuate the positive change that we are called to, whether it's through the lens of your faith, your your personal philosophy, or just seeing like legit wrongs taking place. I know that's an oxymoron, legitimate wrongs, but do something to think of something bigger than you, and do something that really does bring about the biggest positive impact on as many people as possible, and not some of these shenanigans that we're seeing out here. So until next time, ladies and gentlemen, all of you, take care, be safe out there. Get your rest, drink your water, eat your vegetables, things along those lines. Be kind, be courteous, be respectful, acknowledge other people's humanity, regardless of the packaging. And we're going to leave it there. So whether small or big, a victory is a victory. Whether slow or swift movement is movement. Keep it victorious, keep it moving. Again, all of you, take care. I look forward to seeing you soon.